I realize we live with each other, but I'll start by saying hi, Adrian.
Hi, Tash.
I work for an organization that is a PBO, but I suppose it could qualify as a small business. We're lucky that we have some buffer, but there is a great deal of anxiety around how long the crisis will last. How much do I need to keep liquid in my portfolio? I am, however, seeing some incredible bargains on the JUC. Old Mutual, multi-choice, and there's a part of me that's very tempted to take advantage of this pricing. Do you have some advice on people like me who are trying to balance a whole lot of decisions at the moment?
And you and I are parents with family obligations. So, I think rule one in this circumstance is put a line through debt to the fullest extent possible, extinguish debt. It's too late to say, well, you shouldn't have come here with debt. That isn't most people's reality. But do whatever you can to make sure that you don't take on more debt. Before you leap at any bargains or opportunities, also make sure that you've got enough sort of dry powder, enough ammunition, cash, that you can look after yourself and your family's obligations for not just the lockdown period, but probably a further buffer, perhaps 3 months. And a good rule of thumb is, have I got enough cash to look after 3 months' household expenses?
And school fees.
School fees, groceries, electricity, utilities, all of that needs to be encompassed in a budget with a 3-month cash provision. Once you've satisfied those two criteria, we can then probably start having a conversation about the bargains, and there are a number of incredibly attractively priced, not just businesses, government bonds, property stocks, cash. There's some great ways to apply your capital in this environment. But get rid of debt and make sure you've got the cash buffer first.
Debt first, cash buffer, and then with what's left,
then we can talk about the bargains.
Go into the bargains. If you do have some spare cash and you want to invest that, where would you go?
There's some companies that have fallen spectacularly. Sasol is a great case in point, from 500 Rand a share to 30 Rand a share. You don't want to confuse that fall in price with a brilliant opportunity. You first need to satisfy yourself that this business has the balance sheet, the business model, the cash flow to get through this environment and finish up in strong shape to build to even better. And there are a number of companies that satisfy that criteria. Some cases in point would be businesses like Old Mutual, where the share price has fallen off quite spectacularly, Quilter, Rand Merchant Investments, Eltron. All of these, I think, represent some really interesting cases in point. For everyone watching this from home, Multi-Choice Group, which has got a whole bunch of fresh subscribers and brand new eyeballs. So, every crisis presents opportunities. Opportunities, A, to learn, B, to establish new practices, and C, not to be opportunistic, but to take opportunity. And those would be some really investable companies in this environment.
The next question I have is around the economic situation once this lockdown has been lifted. We hear a lot in the media, there is a lot of speculation, there's a lot of noise. What advice do you have for small businesses who need to weather the rest of this year?
Small businesses will find themselves in real trouble in this circumstance. These are hard yards, and they are going to test even the most resilient businesses. So I think there's a couple of things that businesses can look to in this environment. The one is the support of network and community, that you have an understanding environment, an environment in which people will be mindful and tolerant of your circumstance. We're in this together. So use that network, I think would be sort of principle one. The second is to use this to do spring cleaning, housekeeping, that so often, we're scrambling, we're tail chasing, we just don't get the time to look after critical aspects of the business. We can use this time to that end. And in that way, then all might not be lost. And the third is to recognize that this will pass, that when we get to the other side of this crisis, the call will be on businesses to ramp. And the key is to make sure that you are ready for that event, that you don't want to be on the back foot. So make sure your staff are ready. You can use this for staff training. You can use this for stock counting. You can use this for menu refreshing and revisiting. All of those will put you into a position that you can ramp in a situation of strength rather than a situation of reaction or response.